So we will create one. Try to create the asset. So I've given the asset class, company code, number of similar assets. Then the asset group num, capitalization date, business area, then in the depreciation area, the depreciation start date. Okay, and save. Okay, now asset is created. Earlier it was not created. What problem was, as I said, last fiscal year variant. I deleted the fiscal year variant. I created new one. Created new one. This is just another one of other server. What I did similarly, I typed manually one by one because from another server I was not able to copy. So I created the fiscal year variant and changed it. Earlier when it has given something VB, I changed it to V3, then it worked. So I came to V3, then we are not having an issue.
Okay.
Okay. It takes lots of time to copy fiscal year variant. So one by line, so I created V3 again, then I updated this one, then it worked without any problem. Okay. Now this is your main asset. Under 3000, I'll create another sub asset for which we will purchase the asset and then the depreciation. Okay. Now that is /NAS11. Okay. The sub asset will be created by 3001, 3000.1.2 like that. Under G, let's say I'll give the registration number. G, let's say it belongs to Delhi and individual G. Now, apart from the capitalization date, all other things will be copied from your main assets. The depreciation key, useful life, period, everything has been copied. So, you see it is created as a 3001 because I have given the account number, your asset number as a. Now, I will, after this, I'll purchase the asset. Only create the asset is not enough. We have to purchase the asset. F-90 is the key code to purchase the asset. And I'll give the starting of the period so that I can run depreciation till now. Okay, we can run depreciation to the time. If I give the today's date, then capitalization date, then we have to wait 1 month for the asset. So I have given the starting of the period. Then your asset, sorry, vendor. Okay, period is adjusted because it's the 7th period. I'm posting in the first period. Then the amount and posting key is 70. Then your sub asset. Then your transaction type. I'm acquiring from the external, so 100 external asset activation. So I purchase the asset. Okay. Now, to view the asset report, the T code is AW01N. Okay, we have one asset, that's why system has considered that. So total value is 2 lakh, 10% is 20,000 is the your depreciation. It is just a calculate. It is not a posted yet. Now in the posted you can see 10,000 has been distributed monthly based on pro rata basis monthly. So 30 days, 31 days, 28 days based upon that system has segregated the depreciation. Now it is showing planned because I have not executed the depreciation. It is showing that's why just planned. Now I will run the depreciation. AFAB. First period. Okay. Then remove the test run. If you do a test run, we can execute in the front. Okay, not in the background. It will just say whether the documents are posted correctly or everything is correct or not. If is there any error, then it will give us that error to rectify. So no error at all. Okay, where to find if any error is there? In this error list. As of now, nothing is there. Now I'll execute the depreciation. Always depreciation executed in the background. So remove this, the test run, go to program and execute in background. Output device, continue. Okay, so this device is not formatted, so just a warning message, need not to worry. Again, click on continue, immediate, check, no error message, save. Go to system, services, batch input, jobs, job overview. Then execute. Okay, and one job is posted. Click on the spool. Select the spool, click on the spool and click on the type. Now if you refresh AW01 report, it is now posted. Earlier it was planned, now it is posted. Similarly, one more time if you want to execute for the second period. Remove the test run, program, execute in background, put device, continue, and continue. Immediate, save. System, jobs, job overview, execute, second spool is created, that take the latest one, click on the spool. Now refresh your report, it was planned. Now it is posted. So each month end you can execute it manually or with the help of your technical people. You can schedule a program that job what it will do, it will run automatically every year, every month end, a specific date. You can ask the technical people to create a variant and with the help of that person, we can create a job and every time it will execute that.
Kashi, here as you are doing FAB, the planned depreciation, you don't give the asset number, is it? We just missed.
I have given the asset number, no?
Okay.
Okay, depreciation, all the assets.
Yeah, it will pick
Because you
automatically.
have only one asset, yeah,
Oh,
automatically. You have only one.
okay. So if the asset has been created and an acquisition was there, then it would pick up all the
Yes.
assets. Or I. Okay.
All the assets.
Okay. Uh, Also, there can be this various depreciation areas, isn't it?
Yes, as of now, we have only one depreciation area. If you
Okay.
activate more depreciation area, here it will come.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. So you will explain that in.
So in that,
Yeah. Uh,
again, new depreciation, you can try the same with another depreciation area activating it.
Okay.
You can try that.
Okay. I'll try that. What I want to know is, like there is something like you can depreciate only in one area. You can like IFRS and some local. So how does that work? Because I wanted to know the difference
Hmm.
between only one depreciation and that multiple depreciations.
No, I did not understand.
Like in my current project, they have local
Hmm.
tax area depreciation and group area depreciation. There are these
Hmm.
depreciation areas are
Hmm.
three. So
Hmm.
this one they showed us, and after that they said you can depreciate only in one area, say in the local, and you it doesn't depreciate in IFRS. You can do that. So how is that? And
There
what?
is a T code. I forgot. There is a T code for that.
Okay. Uh, if I know it.
ESTP or something like that.
We can see that later, Kashi. Probably you can continue and
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll just, yeah.
yeah.
There is a T code. As of now, it's not coming to my mind.
No, that's
There is
okay.
a T code which uh, depreciation area wise
Yeah.
we can post.
Okay.
This is the one. AFP. Yes, AFP.
Okay.
So whichever the other than your 01 depreciation area,
Mm-hmm.
this one you can include it.
Automatic.
So which will help you to execute the 8 depreciation areas. You can give the specific depreciation areas. This that is only for your reporting purpose. That will not update any of your GL accounts. Okay. So, any other questions? Sure.
No, sir. No.
Now, okay, we have another 3 things. Okay, in this one is transferring the asset. Okay, I'll transfer this asset value to another asset. Then I'll scrap a asset and sell the asset. Okay.
Just one thing, sir. I just want to know one thing. So, can we rerun the depreciation run for period one? So,
See, if you
someone thought
want to
that,
rerun it, which is already executed, you cannot run directly.
okay,
You have to apply a OSS note. You have to make that specific asset. Okay, we have to execute a different program that doesn't come with the standard SAP. It was not there Okay, later it has been invented. Okay, later it has been come up. So what it will do, you at that time system will give you a range of assets, or you can do an enhancement to say for the assets which are already posting is happened by default. The system will look for those things which are already assets are posted, and it will execute only those assets which are not having any post.
So this, I mean, if the depreciation was posted wrongly for the period, in case
If depreciation is not posted,
depreciation is posted, but it is but it is the incorrect depreciation. Might be using some wrong depreciation key versus wrong depreciation.
yes,
So,
first manually you have to reverse the depreciation. Okay, then again you have to execute a program. Okay, then system will allow you to do that.
So and what about the accounting entries?
You have to
entries
reverse
on
it manually.
So what is the T code for this to reverse it?
Reverse FB08.
Oh, AP08. Okay, okay. You can reverse it. Okay.
Yes, reverse it. Then you have to run that program. Then only system will allow you to run depreciation again.
So program is a different depreciation run?
No. Program to make this asset
Okay.
to ready for the another depreciation.
Depreciation. So, but can we rerun the previous depreciation, right, by using repeat run?
But system it will not update.
Okay.
Posting will not be there.
Okay. Okay, sir, fine.
So first transfer of an asset. Before transferring, I'll create one more asset. Asset 03002. Okay, so I'm transferred 3001 to 3000. So transfer the asset /NAPUNN. Okay, so I'm transferring the existing asset. So transferring 30001 to 3002. I'm giving the date on which date I'm transferring. Let's say asset transfer. We can give a new asset also. We can create a new asset by giving the details, or through the existing asset which you have created in the asset master. From the asset, transfer to asset and now if you view 3001 will be 0. Say retired, and it will be updated in your 300.
So in that case, if you transfer the asset from one asset to another asset, and what about these depreciation values which are posted in previous asset?
Already you cannot change anything. That is posted.
So you can't change those values.
No, that cannot be changed. Why you want to change? Because already depreciation is posted. You are just transferring the current period.
I mean, if you want to get the report, so again it would be a mess, right?
GL account report will be the same.
Okay. Okay.
You are getting a GL account report, it will not have any impact on your P&L or balance sheet. The report is the same.
So now you're changing from one asset to another asset, just you're renaming asset. Right?
I transfer the asset value from one asset to another asset.
Okay.
So GDL 0111, I transfer to GDL 222.
So do we need to close the previous asset or it will be inactivated?
It will close automatically. System will close it.
Okay.
Okay. This is the previous asset. It is closed.
Okay.
We had posted one
I will transfer
value.
the value to.
We had posted one value, isn't it? It should have the netbook value gets goes there, right? To the new asset.
Yes, it's netbook value only. It goes.
But we posted one, so the amount should have got reduced, if I'm not wrong. It was 200,000.
So it is total amount is 20,000. Yes, 200,000 the total amount.
No.
So now when you run the depreciation, it will start from the third period. First, second period, it will not.
Uh, uh, in asset with sub number 1, 200 was the acquisition value, 200,000. And then we
Correct.
posted one value, one depreciation. So the net book value should have got reduced by some number, isn't it? How much? So
See, at that time you, yeah. Now here I transfer the complete amount. Okay. So the asset value has been transferred and the depreciation will not allow you to execute a first or two period.
Okay. The entire amount,
Okay.
whatever is the
Will
depreciation,
be transferred.
entire amount will
It will be
will get transferred.
correct.
Okay.
Transferred.
Yes, this is into
Okay. Oh, not the net book value. The entire amount gets
Not
transferred.
net profit. Amount will be transferred.
Okay, okay, okay. However, the depreciations that happen. Hello, hello. Yeah. However, the depreciations that happen in the new asset will be from the net book value.
Net
The
book value.
Okay.
Because always you have taken the straightforward, right? Whatever the asset it will be considering is your straight format, it will be your acquisition value,
Okay.
not your net book value. If you have taken diminishing, then it will be net book value.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question, Kishore? Now I'll scrap this asset. So completely I'll make it scrap. ABABN. Due to some reason, this asset is completely now no use. I'm scrapping it. And save. Now to refresh, benefit became completely. Okay, it become the value become 0. So due to fire or something, it got destroyed. Okay. Now I'll create one more asset. I'll pull the entry and I'll sell with. I am not completely. I'll scrap it. I will sell it with some value. Okay. Type. Okay. Set value. Okay. Now with some lesser amount, I'll sell it to a, or a higher amount also, I can sell it to a customer. So the T code is F-92. So let's say I'm selling for today's date. Select the customer. Let's say I'm selling for 1,80,000. 50 asset sell GL account. Then select here asset retirement. Click on the enter. The asset details field will come out. Then you give the asset details which you are selling it. Give the asset value. The asset value that is your today's date and consider. And select complete retirement and continue. Document overview. Save. For asset retirement only are given, right? This is the record. I'll make it as a subtract. Optional link. Okay, let me see now. Okay. So someone has made a specific field as a mandatory, so which I change it to optional. Now, this is retirement with cash. Earlier, complete scrapping. This is retirement with scrap. That means we got some money. So, your 180,000, 180,000, total asset value, asset sale, and there is a loss because I purchased it 3 lakh, I sold it for 1,80,000, there is a loss. If I have sold it more than 3 lakh, there will be an entry for profit on asset sale. We check AW01N, value become 0. So there is a entry, the retirement value and the loss. Okay. Any questions here?
No, sir, nothing.
Vanessa?
So the retirement value was what amount that we gave while doing F-92, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay.
Of this one, I sold it for 1,80,000.
Yeah. Okay. And the loss was 120, and the asset value is always 300. It
Because
is
the
never.
asset value is 3
Yeah.
lakh.
Yeah. It is never.
I changed it to 3 lakh.
Okay.
Run the depreciation.
Yeah. How much of a if you had run the depreciation on this,
It
like
will reduce it.
yeah, it would be now. It would be the net book value, isn't it? Or
Correct.
okay.
That book value. See, again, you have to change the period control on the pro rata basis or what rule you want to apply.
Okay.
Then you have to update.
Like what I'm trying to understand is, while we are selling, I can sell it on a price which is done outside the system. The asset itself, like one is the selling price and one is the asset value itself. So that can be the initial acquisition value or it can be the net book value. Depends upon how we want, is it?
Correct. See, always in the straight line value, it will be your acquisition value.
Okay.
Correct? Because system will consider for depreciation your acquisition value. Now, when you are selling or anything, first is your period control. What period control you have given?
Okay.
In the retirement, if I have given at the start of the year, it will always consider your acquisition value. If you consider the pro rata basis, it will consider after your depreciation.
Okay. Okay.
So that is also linked to your period control transaction. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions? Any other questions?
And they were using this T code called APCO, some miscellaneous something expenses. There is adjustment posting ABCO. They were using it. Can we use that for ABCO? Can we use that for acquisition or it is only on the purchase that we do?
Adjustment for the posting areas.
Yeah. What?
Depreciation area, if you want to do any adjustment, it is.
What exactly? What adjustments in the sense? Like if you want to add
I
some.
have no idea. I have never used it. No idea on this. We never used it.
Okay. No, that's okay. And they use ASKB, run periodic posting.
That all I explain you in the end activities, year-end activities.
Okay. Okay.
There are year-end activities, few T codes are there that I will explain.
Okay.
The year-end, month-end and year-end activities.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? So complete asset accounting, remember, is segregated in 3 parts, 3 important things: chart of depreciation, asset class, and depreciation key configuration. Chart of depreciation, purely for determining your depreciation area based upon your reporting. Asset class related to your master data, then your depreciation key, which is for your calculation of depreciation. Okay, asset accounting is something is a huge. If someone tells me to completely explain asset accounting, I can take for minimum 6 months of session. There are lot many things are there, but this is your foundation. There are lot many things are in asset accounting. For each country wise, we can have a different approach. For each industry wise, we can have a different approach. But wherever you go, everything is based upon chart of depreciation, asset class, or depreciation.
Okay.
This is we can say foundation. After that is only any other enhancement you want.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in ideal server, none of those enhancements works. For that, everything we have to come up with a patchwork. We have to apply the OSS now. Okay, but when you for Kishore, when you go for the interview perspective, your questions will be based upon these things only. So you need not to worry. Okay, so you know the flow and the accounting entry. So when today I did not show you, but when you are posting asset depreciation, transfer of asset, asset acquisition, note down the accounting entries. That will be a definite question for you.
Okay.
Okay, and they will whenever they ask any questions on your asset accounting for you. Okay,
Okay.
try to explain this flow. These three parts are there. Then
Okay.
link your question.
Okay.
Okay, why? Because if you link these three parts, then they will make sure themselves that they are clear with it. Okay, you know this three parts. Then
Okay.
you answer what are the questions. Okay, so always relate to whatever the project you are given. You say in this project we have this many chart of account, we have this many asset class, and we have so many depreciation keys, and then you answer whatever the questions they are going to answer, so that they know you are aware of the three segments, which is the very important from your
Okay.
okay.
Also, Kashi, I think as you were posting, you were using some specific keys, 70 and all that. How did
Correct.
you choose
So
that?
that is standard posting keys.
That's for the asset is
Yes,
same
asset
key.
acquisition 70. That
Okay.
is the standard posting key. Whenever you are using, that is standard SAP that you have to give the 70 for the asset acquisition.
Okay. It's like a debit.
Yes,
Okay.
that's like debit. 31 is your credit vendor, debit asset, because I am purchasing, so goods are coming in. Debit 1 comes.
Okay. Okay, Kashi.
So about the transaction keys that we are using. So, I mean, does there any separate concept or just the standard one, right? Do we need to configure them or is
No.
SAP provided it, right?
It's actually provided.
If you want us to create new one, we can do that.
We can create. We never do that. We always copy from the standard, but we never use. Whatever the SAP is provided, everything is like fine. We are good with that.
So then one more thing is the step of specifying the intervals for posting. I mean, that step or in the configuration of it, specify the rounding and values on this. There is an option called smoothing. Smoothing. So the meaning is just to spread the depreciation across all the periods equally. That's the meaning.
Normally, we never use those things. Okay. Kishore,
Okay.
you should go very deep also, you're making yourself complicated. Okay.
Okay.
So definitely in the interview, they will not ask that much in detail. Okay. So because especially I will not ask you to experiment more in asset accounting. All other topics you do. But why in asset accounting? Always keep to your basics. I'm 100% sure wherever you go, any person who takes the interview, he will concentrate more on basics. Okay. If you start looking into more, your basic will get confused. That should not happen. Because let's say smoothing, I have used, I know. Some person has not used. then
Okay.
he will think what you are saying is that is incorrect.
Okay, okay.
Okay, whenever you are answering, if he asks specifically, okay, then if you know, just tell, otherwise you just inform that, okay, I have never used number. But make sure you are strong with these configurations, the basics.
Yes, okay. Okay.
Okay. Smoothing is spreading the depreciation to over the year. That is only for specific countries, not in all the countries.
Okay.
Okay, so that information will not be there in your document. Okay, that purely comes up to your experience. So that is more, it is used in your specific countries only, where we spread the depreciation over the periods. But most of the countries, they do not use.
Yes, okay.
Okay,
And one more thing,
similarly,
sir.
yeah.
Chart of depreciation for our country is not defined by, sir. Say we will
It's
copy it
defined.
from.
It's there. It's there. Indian one is there. Someone in our in this server, he has done some experiment. He has spoiled it. In chart of depreciation, it's there. For India, earlier it was not there. Now it is there.
Okay. It is also not there in my server too. I tried it, but it's not there.
Oh,
I'm
then
copying it from German.
no, it's there. The chart of depreciation for INR, it is there. Okay.
Okay.
We always use that one only. In this particular system, someone has corrupted it, so I tried to rectifying it, but it is not working.
Sir, and one more question, sir. Just to know. So the values, all the depreciation values posted in the chart of the GL accounts. So if I maintain the new GL indicators.
Okay, this is the one issue. One.
Oh, okay. 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 So 1 IN. Okay. I'll search
One.
it.
Yeah.
And this thing, sir. If I am maintaining the new GL and if I am posting the depreciation values, and so these values will get updated automatically in new GL, or will we need to
Yes.
maintain it separate?
If you are activated your new GL, it will get updated automatically. You need not to do anything.
Any configurations, nothing.
No, nothing is required. Your regular configurations only, where you have maintained the document types.
Okay. Just we need to maintain document number ranges for AF.
Yes, number ranges in the new GL, and account assignment categories there, like we have maintained for balance sheet,
Yeah.
already maintained. So then
Account assignment categories. Okay.
those two only configuration. Apart from that, nothing.
Okay. Okay. Fine. That's it from me.
And one more question, Kashi. An asset is always with a sub asset. Like if you're making any posting, it is always asset and sub asset together.
No, it can be. It purely depends. Some companies I've seen, they do not use sub asset concept at all. They use always the main assets.
Okay. In our project there are sub asset, but what I'm trying to understand is like if I'm making a, because now I have sub asset also in my project, so it's always transaction that I make is with sub asset. It is posting depreciation to a sub asset. It cannot be on the main asset.
Will be correct.
Okay.
Main asset, correct. Got it.
Okay. So I have to go one by one.
So it is possible. You don't give yes, one by one. You have to go for it. Because first of all, your main asset will not have any value.
Okay. Yeah, with the
Correct.
sub asset.
So
Yeah.
it will not have any impact.
Okay.
So it will not have any impact if you go for complete one also.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Is it accounting? Because after this I'll start the controlling.
Content something that we'll see later, is it? You're telling you'll see some.
What?
You said you will show us that
Yeah.
AKSB month end postings.
That year-end activities.
Okay, not now.
And month and year-end activities, that will I'll show.
Okay, fine.
All year-end activities one time I'll show you.
Okay, Kashi.
let's start. Okay. First, I'll give you one example. Okay. With that example, we will do complete our configurations and scenario. Okay. Let's say our company code VS01. We have different departments: marketing, production. Okay. Then your sales. Now, whenever I record in my VS01 T code, okay, VS01 T code, every time I have to tell that that specific expenses or income or gain belong to which particular department, either marketing, production, or sales. Okay. Now, controlling is, as I said, it is more for your internal reporting purpose. It does not impact your GL accounts at all. Whatever we do the activities in controlling, it will be in your controlling. It is not going to affect any of your FI reports or FI postings. Okay. One more. Excel where I've given one example completely how the flow will be. 1 second. I'll just look at it. I was taking controlling session for another student. But here I've given a complete one more structure. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just call the student. Okay. I have saved it somewhere. I'm not finding. I'll ask him to send that Excel so that I can explain the complete process. Okay. Do one thing. Take a 5 minutes break. Okay. Then again we'll start.
Okay, Krish.
Okay. For example, I have 3 departments. One is labor, one is manufacturing, one is admin. Now, in each department, I have different expenses or transactions. So, the ultimate use of cost center, or what is the main purpose of the cost center, is to distribute this amount to respective products for calculating your product cost. For example, let's say I have 3 products, product 1, product 2 and product 3. Now, when I spend on salaries, I'll give the complete amount. Later, I'll distribute this, that out of this 36,000, how much amount belongs to production 1, product 2, product 3. Similarly, each expenses will be recorded totally in FI, then it will be distributed in your P1, P2, P3 respectively. Then system will determine that in product costing how the product costs are there. Okay, so now in cost center our responsibility is to first create the cost center, create the cost element, do the postings, then distribute it to their respective department. Now another very simple example, let's say I have 3 departments, as I said, production 1, production 2 or production 3 and one common service 1. When I record any of my expenses, every time I'll give it to service 1, then I'll distribute it to which product it belongs to. Okay, so I'll give it to a service 1 cost center, S1 cost center, that is a common cost center. Then using a distribution process, I distribute my expenses to the respective department. Okay, by doing this, what I'm doing, I'm segregating my expenses to individual departments. So the distribution of the postings can be happened only for your cost elements. Okay, what is cost element, what is the difference, I will explain. Now, from the cost center perspective, so whenever any overheads, only expenses, not income, overheads are written, what I will do, I'll give it to the S1, then using a distribution process, I'll distribute it to respective products. Then in the product costing, when I'm calculating for the respective product, system will consider that for your product costing purpose. Okay, any question in the process?
No, Kashi.
What, Kishore?
No. Sir, yes, sir. Here we are segregating, we are differentiating. There are 3 sectors, right? You said these are 3 production plants.
Yeah, P1, P2, P3.
P3. So, and you have
one common sector.
We have some common cost center, right?
Cost center, correct.
Okay.
From the when I'm actual recording in FI, I'll give it to the common cost center, then I'll distribute it to P1, P2, P3. Okay. For example, let's say I have one expenses. Let's say my electric bill. So when I'll get the electric bill, I'll get it for complete company.
Okay, for common, okay, it's a common private.
Complete company, generic. Then I have to distribute it to production 1 how much, production 2 how much, production 3 how much. This
So
distribution,
okay.
this distribution only in controlling,
Okay.
not in FI, only in controlling.
Okay, okay.
So can we say this P1,
This
P2?
distribution takes completely.
Yeah, Kashi. So we can say P1, P2, P3 is my cost element that is connected to the cost center. Or something. How can we?
Cost centers, cost centers, cost centers, not cost element. Don't go to cost element. I don't know. Cost centers. All these P1, P2, P3, S1 are cost centers. When I record any expenses debited to bank account, I'll give it to the common cost center, that is S1.
Okay.
Then I'll distribute it to P1, P2, P3 cost centers. Production 1, production 2, production 3, not cost elements.
Okay. Till now it
This
is just
electric bill,
Okay.
this is cost element.
Oh.
this is your cost element. The GL account only cost element. How it is represented, I'll explain you.
Okay.
So this electric bill is cost element.
Okay. Okay.
So, how you divide these amounts? I mean, is there any separate criteria to divide these electrical
Distribution
amounts?
will do. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll explain you that. There is a distribution process, 2 steps are there that I'll explain. First, you understand the process.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So similarly, let's say another expenses is there. Okay. Let's say my telephone bill. Debited to bank. So when I'm posting in FI, I'll give the common cost center S1, then later I'll distribute it to P1, P2, P3. Similarly, each expenses will be distributed to your respective P1, P2, P3. Okay. Any questions here?
No. Clear, Kash.
So this is your overhead flow. This is your cost center. Okay. Cost center flow. Okay. Before going to the cost center, there are some general settings. Maintain controlling area. Maintain number ranges. Maintain version. These things you have to do. Okay, maintain controlling area, maintain number ranges, and maintain your versions. Okay, controlling area is the main integration from your FI to CO. Okay, that for controlling area only your relationship between FI to CO is established. So without controlling area, we cannot implement controlling. So we have to define the controlling area first to implement your controlling. Okay, controlling area has its own configuration. Controlling area has some rules to follow, which I'll explain you one by one. Okay, controlling area is the most important configuration in your controlling issue, and we can say highest if you do not have operating concern. If you are not using COPA, then controlling area is your highest integration point, highest reporting unit point. Okay. Now, to define the controlling area, because there are lot of steps to explain, so I'll just go to new entries and I'll explain one by one. Now, let's say I'm considering assignment control. Okay, this is controlling area identification and description and person responsible. After that, we have company code and controlling area. Controlling area same as company code, cross company code. If option 1 is selected, we can assign only one company code to controlling area. Okay, if I select option 1, then only one company code. I cannot assign multiple company codes. There should be only a one company code to your under your controlling area. Next is your cross company code. If I select option 2, then I can have multiple company codes can be assigned. But to select option 2, there are two conditions. First, for all those company codes, operating chart of account. Okay, if I'm selecting option 2, for all the company code, the operative chart of account should be the same. The fiscal year the fiscal year, period, start and end date should be also same. If I'm selecting option 2. If I'm selecting option 1, only one company code, no problem. If I'm selecting option 2, then these informations are mandatory. These information has to be updated properly. Okay.
We generally,
Now,
sorry to interrupt. Generally, we wouldn't go for controlling area same as company code because we cannot have for one
cross company code cost accounting.
Yeah.
Correct. Option 2 only will go. But in our example, we have only one company code, so it will work. But in the real time, it never goes.
Okay. Now, even if we have one company code, what will happen if we choose the second option?
Nothing.
Nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen.
Yeah.
So, VA01 now. Now, if I select company code as a controlling area, same as a company code, in the currency type, I will have only one option, company code currency. Now, if I select option 2, then I will have whether company code currency, controlling area currency, group hard or global company code currency. Okay. Very commonly we use controlling area currency because my company codes may have different currency or group currency. Never your company code currency. There are some scenarios we select company code currency, but very commonly your controlling area currency or group currency. That is for your common. For example, let's say your all main corporate office in INR, so your group currency will be INR. So, or your corporate office in the US, then your group currency will be USD. Based upon that, system will select. Based upon that, system will determine currency, chart of account, fiscal year, and your that's it. Currency, chart of account, and the fiscal year. We have to give the standard hierarchy. Okay. If you select option 2, one second. If I select option 2, remember 2 rules. First, operative chart of account and the fiscal year must be the same. You cannot have more than that. Okay. Yes, Kishore.
Here, under assignment control, there will be some more options, right, regarding the cost center and activity based something. But I don't see.
No, only 2. Only 2 options. It never has more options.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, the cost center standard hierarchy. So, this is the hierarchy, the highest hierarchy for your cost center. That means whatever you create the cost center, all the cost centers will be created under this hierarchy one by one. This hierarchy will be considered as the highest hierarchy for your cost centers, only for your cost centers. Okay, not for profit center, not for internal orders. Okay, so now I'll select currency type 10. Automatically, currency, chart of account, fiscal year is created. Now, cost center standard hierarchy, we have a separate T code to create. 10N. Keep it in Yeah, okay, Eon, 0. So we can create it here because I have not maintained controlling area here. Then I can update it here. Or directly I can update it here, create it here. When I create this, system will ask, okay, cost center standard hierarchy is not maintain. Do you want to create the system? You say yes. Then here automatically it will update.
So, Kashi, is it like, as you had explained earlier, that S1 is there and then P1, P2, P3 we distribute. So that hierarchy we maintain here, is it?
No, when I did not understand.
Sorry. As you had explained earlier, that we have one main S1 cost center and then we distribute it to P1, P2, P3. So that hierarchy is maintained here? Or
See, any hierarchy, any cost center you create, it will come under this hierarchy. This is your default hierarchy.
yeah, like I want to know what kind of hierarchy, like how do we define the hierarchy? Like,
Your cost center hierarchy, we can define it. That's I'll just explain.
okay.
Okay. Now here, if you see VS01 hierarchy,
Oh,
under this I can create my different groups. Okay, I can create here. Let's say I want to create an additional group. Okay, create. So under this, I'll create a group. Okay, so this group, let's say I'm giving for your P1. Then, okay, if under P1, if I have only one cost center, then one cost center. If I have multiple cost center like this, let's say labor, manufacturing, admin, I have multiple cost centers I can create. Then I can assign. Right click, create cost center, or assign the cost center. Whichever because I don't have any cost center created, that's why it's showing this. So whichever the cost center I have created, I can assign it. So this VS01 underscore HRE is the highest hierarchy which I have given in my controlling area.
okay.
So under that hierarchy only, all your cost center groups and cost center will be created.
So, Kashi, when we distribute the cost, we can distribute it only within the cost center group, like each group. Or,
Yes,
okay.
within the group.
Okay.
No, I can have other groups also. I can maintain multiple groups also
Yeah,
while
but
distributing.
say I have, as you mentioned, P1, and inside that I have P2, P3, P4. So when the entire cost of something would come to P1. So when I distribute, I can distribute only to P2, P3, P4. I can't go to
No,
another group.
anything, any combination. See, in our example, I'm going to post it to S1, then distribute it to P1, P2, P3. For example, under P1, I have again more. I can give specific. So the P1 will be your cost center group, not individual cost center. It will always go to your individual cost centers.
Okay.
Then you can give from the P1 one cost center, P2 one cost center, P3 another cost center also. I can give.
Okay.
Okay. Now in our example, as I said, simple process. Okay. To understand, I have three cost centers for production.
Mm-hmm.
That is P1, P2, and P3. Then common cost center. That is S1. So what I will do, I will divide, I will distribute, I'll post the entry in S1 in FI, and using distribution process, I'll distribute it to P1, P2, P3.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Now, for example, we have more cost centers. Yes. For example, let's say cost, these are not cost centers, these are my groups. Under this, I have individual cost center. Then I can pick individual cost center for distributing also.
Okay. So I need to do two distribution cycles for that, from S1 to
Yes.
P1 and P1 to again.
Yes. Now, coming back to your controlling area configurations, after updating this field, double click on assignment of company codes, new entries, and assign your company. Then double click on activate components. Then go to new entries. So normally, if we implement HR, we give 1900. If we have HR, because there are some entries which comes from your older data in your HR system. So if it is a HR, we suggest to give the 1900. Otherwise, it is you can give the current date. Then cost center, I'll make it as the active. Asset accounting, I'll make it active. Order management, this is for your internal orders. Commitment management, for your commitment process. ABC, for your product costing. Then profit center accounting. If I want to activate PS and sales order also, and real estate, these are different modules. Which module you want to activate it, you have to make it activate of that particular module. For us, cost centers, order management, profit center accounting, these three are important. So which I made it as a active. Critical transport, because this is a okay. After defining controlling area, next is your number range. Okay, we can copy the number range, we can create individual number range also. Both the way we can do it. Normally, we copy from the standard. Okay, doesn't require, but in my step-by-step notes, I've given the create also. But nowadays, no one creates. Everyone copies from the standard, and it meets all your requirement. You need not to make any changes in the future. Okay, maintain number ranges for the control. Now, here one important thing is there. Now, earlier, based upon our document type, we used to select the number range. Now here, based upon the transaction which are going to use, system will determine the document types. Okay, so what are those transactions? Just I'll show you. These are your transactions, standard transactions. COIN, CO through posting from FI, FIPA, payment scheduling, actual assessment. Okay, very commonly which we use, COIN, RKIB, RKIV, RKIU, RKP1, P2, P3, P4, then RK, U1, U2. These are very commonly used for your cost center, profit center, and loss. So I'll copy it from the standard. Copy, go to copy as, type your standard company code and your company code. System will copy all the point of view. Everything is copied. Okay. The number ranges, everything is copied. Next is your version. Now version is required, okay, when for your posting of plan or actual. Whenever you are doing a posting, okay, plan or actual, for that your version is required. If version is activated, then you can do a variance analysis between plan and actual. Now, plan is different, budget is different. It is nowhere related to budget. It is purely related to plan. What is the difference between plan and budget? If we have plan for 10,000 and I am exceeding to 11,000, system will allow. But if I budget for 10,000, then I have to accomplish that activity between 10,000. System will not allow you to go further. So for the planning and actual variance analysis between purpose, required your version, not budget. Do not consider this as a budget. Select zero version. Double click on controlling area settings. Select again zero version. Double click on each fiscal year. When you do this, automatically system will do at a time for 5 years. Here double click on the one line item. Here we need to update one important thing, exchange rate type, which is already system has allowed. That is for your N, which we have considered as our default exchange rate. Okay. Now, apart from this, there are some important things from your product costing perspective. This is not required for cost and the profit center much, but from your product costing, okay, these configurations are important. Okay, these configurations are important. Okay. Now, this particular method, plan method, which it is going to consider periodic or average. Actual posting, cumulative, periodic or average, revaluation, and your cost center, cost component structure. These all are for your product costing. Okay, it is not, it will have very less impact to your. Okay. Now, here we have integrated planning. Okay, if you want any Excel uploading, okay, there is in the in your product costing process, I can upload the data using Excel. At that time, for the planning, we can use this particular integrated planning option. Okay, copying allowed if you selected, then you can copy from one period to another period. System will allow. So these three are your important options. Now, integrated planning with the cost center and business process version. If ABC is required, then only we use this one. Otherwise, we do not use. And for your price calculation, okay, we always our periodic price. Again, this periodic price has to be related to your product costing. And revaluation also we select own business transaction. So for cost center, profit center, internal orders does not have any impact. It is more important to your product costing and coupon. So these three are general settings. Now your cost element. Okay. Any questions before I go to cost element? Now, if
sir, regarding the copying allowed, the entering versions. So what is exactly copying from period to period? Sir? What?
Your plan data.
Okay, plan data from one
period to another period.
Okay. I thought it's no copying allowed from one version to another version. Is it right?
No, one period to another period.
Okay, okay. Plan data and actual data.
Plan data. Yes. Actual data we never copy. Actual data is actual posting.
Yeah, sorry.
Only
sorry.
plan
actual
data.
Okay, actual data is nothing but the data of that
actual posting.
process. Actual processing of business, right?
Yeah, actual posting.
Okay. Okay, so fine, thanks.
Now, cost elements are your GL accounts. Okay, cost elements are your GL accounts only, which is used for CO purpose. Okay, if you want a posting to flow to the CO, then that particular GL must be changed to your cost element. If you do not change it to the cost element, then system will not send that information to your CO. If you want to send the information to the CO, then that particular entry, that particular posting, that particular GL must be converted to your cost element. Then only system will allow send the information from your FI to CO. Cost elements are two types: primary, secondary. Primary postings which flows FI to CO. Secondary cost element which flows from CO to CO. And for secondary cost element, do not require GL accounts. For the primary, GL accounts are required. Okay. Now, primary cost elements, there are different primary cost element types also. First is your primary cost and reducing revenue. Okay, I'll just show you 1 second. Okay, for example, let's say I'll create a new GL account and I'll change it to your cost element. I'll extend it to cost element. How to do this? Let's say electric bill.
Just one question.
Yes.
Sir, if I am maintaining operative group and country-specific chart of accounts, so I have the same GL account in all the three, right? So obviously we have the same GL accounts in all the three chart of accounts. So
Okay.
if I extend...
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Sure. 1 second, I'm getting
Okay,
it.
sir, fine.
Yes, Kishore. Tell me. You were asking something.
Yes, sir. We are maintaining three chart of accounts, all the three group country specific and then operative chart of accounts. And
Correct.
if I extend one GL account in the operative chart of accounts, so I am only, I mean, I can only extend the operative GL accounts, right? Not
Correct.
the group G,
Not
group,
the correct.
country specific chart of accounts. So those two are only for reporting purpose, right? So
Reporting
I can't.
purpose. You cannot do anything with that.
Congratulations. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
I think the CO reports also will be, the same reports will be shown in the country-specific chart of accounts, right? So
Yes,
I don't
it
extend
is
the
always from the
country-specific chart.
country-specific chart of account.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
Now, the field status group for all your cost elements will be G004. That is for your cost accounts. Then, to extend it to cost element, click on Edit Cost Element. Do you want to save? Yes. Then give the valid form, giving the starting date, click on Master Data. Now, here we have cost element category. We have 6 types of category. 1, primary cost or cost reducing revenue. to reduce the revenue. Whenever you want to reduce any revenue, that is your expense only reduce your revenue or loss, then we will be using cost element category 1. 3, for your accrual or deferral. Okay, it is used to pass all your provisions at your month end. Then we have 4, that is for posting of your actual accrual deferral per debit. To be very frank, I have never used it. I never heard anyone using this 4 option. Okay, sales deduction, then your revenues element if it is any revenue cost element. Okay, then we will be using for collecting income. Now I'm using this cost element under your expenses, but if I have any sales, which I'll show you in your product profit center accounting, if any sales is there, then your revenue option will be selected. Sales deduction, that is used for discount, rebates, okay, excise duty, recoverables, for all those things we use sales deduction. External settlement, this is for settling the items for any external thing. Okay, other than you are controlling, you want to settle to any project system or your real estate management, then you will be using your external option. So our electric bill is related to primary cost, which is overhead, which is going to reduce my revenue. So select 11. Now this is considered as a cost element. Others are considered as your GL accounts, but all the GL accounts we extend to your cost element. Okay. Now this particular configuration also impacted by your chart of account. Here I have selected manual. If I select automatic, I'll create one more expense. Let's say telephone bill. Why it is not accepting here? Select automatic, the system should. I need to check the program again. Okay, someone has done something. It is not working as per the required. Okay, this option I will explain you tomorrow. Okay, there is a small. Someone has again changed how. Okay, I don't know why someone is every time editing the standard program. Okay, the system will have a different impact. Okay, I'll explain you that. Okay, in the tomorrow session. Okay, just remind me there is an impact when we select manual and automatic. Manual and automatic, when you select, there is an impact. Okay, just remind me tomorrow. I'll explain you that. Okay.
And Kashi, only for the GL accounts which are G004, only for that group we can extend it to a cost element, is it?
No, I normally all your GL accounts related to the controlling you use G004.
Okay.
If it is a controlling cost element, it is G004 we use it.
Okay.
Okay. For internal orders, we use G002. So it is not hard and fast rule.
Okay.
Okay. Why it is G004? Because in the G004, the cost center is mandatory field.
Okay.
So in G001, it is not. So even if you want to use G001 and you have all the cost centers related to, all the cost elements are related to your cost element, then G001 will make it. Okay, again someone has said. Okay, by default it will be always this is required actually.
Okay.
So there is no hard and fast rule. But standard SAP is given additional G004 for using cost element, G001 for your general. But G001 also I can modify it and I can use only G001. I don't require G004 also.
Okay.
So what I have to do in G001, I have to make mandatory
Okay.
for your cost center.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sir, one more thing, sir. The thing is which of the method is the practice? I mean, which of the method we follow in real time? The manual or automatic?
Both. It's commonly used. Because there is no hard and fast rule. It is that cannot use. It both can be used. There is no hard and fast rule that it has to be used automatic all the time or manual.
I mean, if we select the automatic, when we defining the account groups or the GL accounts, so then, at that time only these GL accounts will convert into the cost elements, right? If we select the automatic rather than the manual. So then it would be a great for business process and it won't be good for business process.
But you do not create individually like cost element, you always upload it.
So from legacy to real.
Yes, not only legacy. From your Excel also you can upload it.
Okay.
So do not create individually.
Okay.
Your GL accounts are completely uploaded like one by your what you call LSMW system. So
LSMW.
you need not to worry. It is not that you create individually. To create individually, that is a headache, but that never happens, right?
Okay. Yes. So it is a consultant part or basis or technical people will upload.
Data upload team will be there.
So and these running LSMW also they will do, right? It's not our own.
Correct. We need to just validate the format.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever the format they will give, we need to validate it whether it is in the correct format or not.
Okay.
So once you validate it, then you are good. You can.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, Kashi. Oh.
So on cost centers, in regarding cost centers will record only overheads, right?
Correct.
No revenues.
We can record revenues also, but it has to be attached to your profit center.
attach it to the profit center.
I'll explain you.
I mean,
okay,
okay.
When you look in the profit center, you will get the more clarity.
Okay, sir. And I mean, I don't think we post the revenues to the cost centers, right? We'll
Yes,
post the
we do
revenues to the
post.
profit center. We do post.
Yes, with the profit center we post.
With the profit center.
Yes.
Then why we require both the profit center and cost centers in the projects that we can
Profit center records both your overhead and revenues. Okay, cost center records only your overheads, but it records with your profit center.
Okay.
Not without profit center.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We'll see.
Yeah, when you do the posting, you will get
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Now, cost element is done. Okay, primary. Secondary cost element, it is purely for your within CO, for within the CO for the distribution purpose. Okay, which is used more in your product costing. And the T code is KA06. Okay, and we have to give a number. Okay, we have to give a number that where I'm going to send the cost element. We do not have any cost element group or anything. Okay, for the secondary, like how we have a GL, assets, liability, income, expense, the different groups are there. For the secondary cost element, we don't have. Here, again the importance is cost element category. 21 is internal settlement, to settle the cost within the CO, not to any external accounting. Okay, order and project result analysis, okay, used for your work in progress in WBS elements. Overhead rates, okay, like what are the overheads you are using it, okay, to distribute the cost to the product. For that we use the overhead rates. When we are distributing it, okay, there is another process in your secondary cost element. Okay, in the product costing, we can distribute based on the cost sheet, activity type, or template allocation. That is your coding. At that time, we require your overhead rates. Assessment for your cycle distribution purpose. Internal activity, it is for your what you will say. Okay, let's say you want to any manufacturing cost to distribute it. Okay, within your activity type, then we will use internal activity. Okay, then 50, 51, 52, this all related to your sales and your project system. 61, I have never used it. Earned value, even I don't have much idea, I never use it. Okay, so based upon the requirement, remember this is purely for your internal, this is purely within CO, not to your FI. Within the CO to post the entry, this is required. Then yeah, that's it. Okay, so as of now we are not doing any product costing configuration, so secondary cost element not much required. So primary cost element is done. Okay. Now cost center. Okay, in the cost center, first I'll create cost centers, then individual cost, okay, cost center groups. Again, this group is not related to your standard hierarchy. For your reporting purpose or distribution purpose, I can create a own groups. Then in G004, I'll make it in the field status group, cost center as mandatory. Then I'll post the entry. So electric bill. Okay, in the cost center, I'll create 4 cost centers: P1, P2, P3, and S1. Production 1 and 2, 3, and service. And I'll post it electric bill debited to bank. Okay, and I'll give it to your common cost center S1. Then the report is P1. Then distribution. First, I'll create the cycle. I'll explain that few things are there in the cycle, and when I go to that cycle screen, then run the cycle. So in the cycle, I'll give the rule from S1 to how to distribute to P1, P2, P3. That rule will be executed in your run cycle. Any questions here?
No, sir.
Vanessa?
No questions.
So till version we have done it. We have created the secondary cost element. Let's create the cost centers. Okay, VA01, I'll give P1 as a name. Okay, I'm giving the company code, but I can give any identification. Okay, to remember easily, I'm typing my company code. Enter. VA01 P1, use person responsible manager, department is production, cost center category, production. Then hierarchy, the hierarchy which I maintain in the controlling area, if I click on the drop box, automatically system will generate it. Under VSI1, I have created P1. So if I want to distribute it to P1, then you give it to P1. Okay. So there, if I maintain P1, then I have to maintain P2, P3, P4 also. Okay. So as of now, I'll give it everything to hierarchy. But if I have more groups, we can assign to the respective groups, whichever the groups you want to assign it. And the currency. The control data, okay, I have activated the profit center, but I have not done any profit center configuration. That's why the warning message, just click on enter. Now, so here we have different options. Record quantity. So this is used for, again, for a product costing. Okay, when I'm using the product costing, if I want the record costing to be activated, that means it will record your quantity based upon your postings. If you want to do that, I will activate your record quantity. Okay. Then based upon my different transaction, which transaction I want to activate it, which transaction I want to deactivate it. Okay. So based upon my requirement, I will activate. If you see, as Kishore was saying, actual revenue is, or planned revenue is deactivated here. But with the help of profit center, we can enter it, we can post it. But without the profit center, we normally do not use it. Template. So this is again required for the product costing, address, communication, the person who is responsible. Then the history will show you the change document. What are the changes you have made? So each cost center will be responsible for an individual person, individual managers. So his details will be updated here. Then similarly, I'll create P2, which I'll copy from P1. Everything will be the same. I'll change the name. P3, Now S1, service 1. Change it to service 1. With the service. You want to create the cost center group. So production 1, 2, 3 are in one group. So taking those three, I'll create one group. Okay, this group is purely for your, remember, for your reporting purpose. Okay, VS.
Sir, can I?
Yes, yes, Kishore.
Sir, why we require these cost center groups? Sir? We can define these cost centers under the ultimate hierarchy, right? I mean the
Okay.
highest hierarchy.
Yes, at that time also I can use it, and we have additional option. This one. This is more used at the time of distribution.
Okay, okay, to distribute one group to another
Okay.
group, right?
Yeah. For example, let's say under manufacturing, okay, I have all these,
Okay.
but
Okay.
a specific expense I want to only distribute to these three.
Uh-huh.
I do not want. In my standard hierarchy, what will happen? Under manufacturing, I will have all the four groups, all the four cost elements, cost centers. But let's say a specific transaction I did it, which I do not want to give it to loading charges, I want to give it to all other departments. Then we will create these additional groups.
Okay, so including these three cost centers, we will create one more group.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So and one more thing, sir, we can restrict the transactions to a particular cost center, right? One where we,
Yes,
what is
that's the thing
option?
I'll show you, no?
Okay, okay, fine. Thanks.
Control data. Lock entries. Which are the entries you do not want, you lock it. Okay, Kishore?
So okay, so this is the tab, sir, where we can restrict
Yes.
the transactions. So actual
Ah.
revenues, planned revenues, secondary cost revenues. Okay. So there is no option of restricting particular GL account or particular cost element like this.
No, that has to be done your validation and substitution. You
Okay.
cannot do it in the standard. Here, you cannot.
But okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fine. Thanks.
So I'll create a cost center group, VA01, P123, one group. So I'll select cost center and assign your cost centers. I'll just make it. Service, it's not required because you have only one. Now I'll go to OBC4 and I'll make it cost center as a mandatory and field status group G004. Cost center is optional, make it. Now I'll post the entry. Only for the cost elements, not for the GL accounts. Then only it will flow to your CO. Let's say electric bill. Now if you see, system is asking cost center. We give VA01 S1. My common cost center. 50 bank account. Okay. Now if you want to report, view the report. KSP1. Okay. Remove the cost element group and cost element, cost type only the cost center and execute. So there will be entry for. Now if you see in my FI, the document is different. In CO, the document number is different. And the transaction is coin, which we copied in our number range. So coin is your transaction. That is your FI to CO through posting from FI. Any question here? Sure, Vanessa.
There was a cost element group as well, isn't it? In that case, we won the report. Yeah, here only. What's that group?
Yes, we can create the cost element group also if you want.
Okay.
AH1.
Okay.
Based upon the which of the cost element are there, we can take that cost element and create a group. Again, it is for your posting purpose, not for your reporting purpose and distribution purpose, not for your, it doesn't impact your transaction.
Okay. Actually, in real world, every transaction should have usually a cost center because it
Yes.
finally.
Always it will be a cost element.
Okay.
Okay, every transaction must go to a
Cost center.
specific cost center because cost center is the origin point. Cost center determines where that particular cost is generated. So always, whenever do any transaction, it will be given to a cost center.
Okay.
Okay. Now this 12,000 I distribute from S1 to P1, P2, P3. So using a distribution cycle, that is /NKS V1 and V5. First, I define a cycle. I'll give a name, any identification I can give. Valid date, I'm giving the starting of the year and end. Text VA01 distribution. Then click on attach segment. Give the segment name. I'm giving same as the cycle and the description. Then sender. Sender rule. How much amount I want to send? Posted amount, fixed amount, or fixed rate. I'll say posted amount. Then how much percentage? Whether it is a plan value or actual value. Actual value or plan value. I'm saving actual value. Then receiver. Who is the receiver and how it will receive? It received on variable portion, fixed amount, fixed percentage, or fixed proportion. Any option we can select. Let's say based upon fixed amount. Then who is the sender? Who is the receiver? Okay, I'm sending from S1. On which cost element? My electric bill cost element. That is 3 all zeros 9. Now, who is receiving? My cost center is receiving. So I can give the range of cost center, or I have created a group keeping P1, P2, P3. I can give that group. Then click on receiving pricing factor. So total amount is 12,000. So 12,000, I'll distribute it to P1, P2, P3. Let's say 2,000, 4,000 and 8,000. And so this is the rule I have defined, VS01. Now I will distribute it, KSV5. Period 1 to 12, remove the test run, detail list, your cycle identification and the start page. Then execute. Okay, you want to send the sender details, all these things. This is the sender, receiver, all the things are dated here. Now go back to your KSB1 report and select all the cost centers. I'll generate the report for all. Okay, now VS01, okay, S1 become 0, 12,000 plus 12,000 minus, and for your P1 2,000, P2 P1 2,000, P2 4,000, P3. Now what is the business transaction for this? RKIV. That is your distribution. Sure overhead.
Here there'll be no FI posting, isn't it? Here.
No, FI will be the same. No impact to FI. Selected bill to bank. This is purely for our internal posting, not for your FI.
Yeah, the initial went from FI to CO, so we had both the this one. But here it was from CO to CO, like cost center to cost
Distribution
center.
is purely within the CO.
Okay.
Sir, in that case, how would we draw the financial statements? We draw the financial statement report will show only 12,000. It won't show the
Financial statement already 12,000 rupees transaction is there.
Yeah, I mean, if you draw the financial statement, you get the report for only 12,000, right? Not the segmental wise. I mean departmental wise cost.
Income tax never want your income tax wise, segment wise report.
Okay.
Cost center wise he never wants. Why he want how you distribute within your company?
Okay, you told me it is for internal report.
Always the total amount.
Okay. Okay, sir.
And Kashi, in the distribution cycle, there was that plan actual. So when you selected actual, but when do I select plan?
If you want to do any planned documents, actually do not, but if you have any planned documents, then you will post.
Okay,
How
but
to do the planning, I will tell you.
okay,
Next,
okay.
plan. posting.
Okay. And also I can send from cost center to business process. So that
Yes.
overhead cost center to business process. So what is a
Yes.
business process? What is
That is project system.
okay? We are
You
using it
have to create a
for
business
product costing.
distribution purpose. Yes. It can be product costing, it can be for anything.
Okay.
Not only for the product costing, you want to distribute it to other WBS element or project business process.
Okay.
For that time, you have to settle it to a business process or your particular object, any other object.
Like how can I overhead cost center is like a business process like a combination of these cost centers. Is it?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So it will be like that group that we create in that cost center group.
Yes, there will be separate. That is a separate process is there for that to distribute it in the PS system.
Okay.
The PS system you can distribute it.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Now the planning. Now if I want to plan a specific cost center, okay, then there is a T code where we can update the planning report. 1806. Okay. One, then your cost element from period 1 to period 12, cost center and the cost element. Then click on overview screen. So let's say for 1 year I'm distributing 24,000. That means individual month it is 12,000. Now if you want to give individual month also, you can change it here. Let's say I'm changing for the 7th period to 1,000. The total amount is changed. Okay, this is planning. First, you have to give the total amount, then the individual periods. Okay, this is completely standard, so you need not to worry. Only the thing we have to give version, cost center and cost element which you are planning. Okay, here another important thing is the plan fixed and distribution. We always select 2. That is for your equal distribution. Okay, so if you select manual distribution, then manually you have to give individual periods. Now there is a report also to view the plan and periods. Okay. 870-13611. So this is for period 7. So period 7, period 7, and exit. So I have done the planning for the service. So actual posting was 12,000, planned was 1,000. There is a variance of 11,000.
Why there is an entry in planned costs? It was full cost.
Sorry?
This is the actual posting that you do. That was
This is
12.
actual 12,000.
Yeah, why there is a planned cost as a value?
I just did the planning, no, KP06.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I give 1000.
Okay. But generally, this KP06 we should do at the beginning of financial year or period.
Correct. Beginning of the financial year.
Okay. And this is more for product costing, isn't it? Or everywhere it is
We
used?
can do for anything. Anything. It is. We do more calc at the time of like product costing. There is a planning costing.
Yeah.
Okay, at the time it is required.
Okay.
So it is required because it derives from that plan data.
And, uh, and every time, even in KP06, you are giving a cost center and again a cost element. But cost center
Correct.
has the,
Always
it
cost
has,
always based upon your cost element all posting will happen, right?
yeah, but cost center has the cost element automatically in that, isn't it? So, do we
No.
specifically,
It can be anything. Cost centers can never have a cost element.
GL account has it. So,
Yes. GL account is extended to your cost element.
okay, we are saying required as cost center in that. And
It is always your cost center is required. Based upon the cost center and cost element only, system will post.
okay. And how do you get to know which is a cost element linked to the cost center?
It can be any cost center can be linked to any cost element.
Okay.
That the user has to decide which one he want to plan.
Okay. From this cost center, for which cost element do I need to put? I have to decide. Okay.
Yes, obviously.
It could not be
You have
fixed.
to decide, right? System will not, cannot, how system will determine?
Fine.
The system cannot determine, right? You have to determine the whole thing. Any other questions, Manisha, Kishore? Now, let's say similarly how we have done the cost center in this particular example. Okay. Now, when I'm getting the cost center, okay, here every time I have to give the cost center and I can get the cost center report. Now, let's say my manager or the customer asks me, okay, I need a additional thing which will give me more in detail reports. Okay, for example, let's say my marketing cost center is there. Okay, now in the marketing cost center, everything comes, all the postings related to my advertisement, campaign, everything is coming. Now, but my customer asks me, okay, I want a report which gives me details not only based upon the marketing cost center, based upon my advertising or campaigning or my trade seminars. Individually, I want a report. Then what to do? then your internal orders come to the picture. Okay, so my manager wants another report. I always post to a cost center. Now with post center, I'll give an additional information, internal orders. And I'll segregate transaction, okay, under the that related to marketing cost center, and I also additional segregate that this transaction belongs to advertisement, this transaction belongs to my trade fair, or this transaction belongs to my particular activity. So internal order is used to monitor cost for a specific events. Okay, so internal order helps us to record a transaction other than your cost center for a specific event. Okay, so an internal order act as a internal cost object. Again, in the market, cost center is the internal cost object. Again, it is another layer of internal cost object for collecting all the costs to a specific job. In this case, advertisement is a specific job, campaigning specific job, trade fair a specific job, or specific expenses, telephone bill. Now all the telephone bills, let's say, goes to my marketing cost center. Okay, that's the telephone which is used by my marketing. Now but I want to know monthly wise how much I spent. So what I will do, I'll create a telephone bill internal orders, one for Jan telephone bill, one for Feb telephone bill, individual internal orders I'll create. And for that month, how much I have spent, I'll record to that individual internal orders. And at the end, I will generate a report which will give me only expenses related to your January or related to your February. Any questions in the concept? Kishore? Kishore?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Any?
So in this case, your internal orders act as just a common center, right? So then why do we require the special?
Sorry?
So as you said here, the internal orders we are conducting a campaign. So for all this, for all the expenditure which is incurred on the campaign, we book it to the internal orders, right?
Correct.
So and then we redistribute it to the different departments.
Correct.
Okay. So in that case, we have this common cost center, right? So why do we require again internal order? We can manage it with the common cost center.
Okay. Now I want a specific monthly wise report. How I will get it?
Monthly wise report.
In this thing, I want to a specific event. In the marketing cost center, I have different things, advertisement, trade fairs, everything is there. I want a specific event.
Specific event?
Yes.
Like what?
Like advertisement, campaigning, trade seminars.
Okay, so then the same answer I have, sir. So create a common cost center, first book all the costs to the common center, all the costs to the common center. So then
where is the individual event activity I'll get? That is common cost center. Common cost center will have all the transactions.
All the transactions.
But I want a specific event.
So then I'll make a specific event as a cost center.
Okay. For example, that event is only for 6 months. So every for 1 week. For every 1 week, one cost center we create.
Okay. 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 So these internal orders are short-lived, so we can delete them from the system.
Not deleting. You will stop using it.
Okay, we can close it. We can close it.
Yes. Automatically we get closed.
Okay. So then from this internal order, we can transfer the cost to the cost center.
Yes, we can.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir. Good, thanks.
Any other questions?
Fine. Yes.
Okay. So internal orders, okay, is considered as your internal cost object for collecting the cost and relate to a given job or an event or individual items. Okay, an internal order can be real or can be statistical. Statistical means it only collects the report, it does not distribute or settle to others. If it is real, then it is always settled to other cost objects. Okay. Now, there are 4 types of internal order categories. One is your overhead, for recording your overhead, investment, recording your work in progress, accrual, for recording irregular expenses, orders with revenue, the 4th one. Okay, in our example, we are going to deal with your overhead cost. Now, coming to the configuration, first I'll create a field status group. We do not have a field status group for internal orders. By copying it the existing one, I'll create G002 and I'll make it cost center and internal order as a required entry. Then I'll create a cost element. Okay, let's say my advertisement expenses, and I'll assign G002. Then I'll create internal order type first.
Kashi, I have one question. If you don't mind.
Yes.
In our project, they use statistical internal orders and they use it for the asset. Like we have 2 categories, CIP and WC and real asset. So what they used to do is they settle the cost for the CIP and they move it to a real asset and start depreciating. So they have statistical internal order for every type of asset. Is my understanding correct or
Okay.
I'm wrong?
Yeah, that's also we can do it.
But I
Yes,
think,
that also we can do it.
but I think we
But
just
that is not statistical. That is your real.
okay. So the one you're saying that
Right? You are settling the cost which
for
is
a CIP,
recorded in your
CIP.
internal order to a asset.
Yes.
To asset.
Yeah, there was a CIP
Correct? So
asset.
that is a
Yeah.
real.
Okay.
Real, that is not statistical.
Okay. So this then the statistical internal order that was used in the other real asset.
Only for reporting, not for settling.
Okay. 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 Yes.
Okay? Yeah. So before creating individual internal orders, we have to create internal order type. Okay. So all my order without like how we create a group, then under the group we create. Similarly, first we have to create an internal order type, then your individual order. Then I'll do a posting. Now this time I'll give cost center and internal order both. Okay, before posting, I can plan also. I can do the planning for internal order, then the posting, then internal order report, then I can do the, after the internal order report, variance analysis. For, okay, let's look into the system. So I have already, okay, first OBC4 I'll go. Select G001, copy it, G002, will make it both cost center and COPP order, that is internal order as a done. Now I have already created one cost element, advertising expenses. No, let me create. G002, edit cost element, click on yes. Cost element category. It's done. Now internal order type I'll create, KOE2. Go to new entries. This is related to order category controlling, internal order for controlling. Then continue. Type, let's I'll give advertising, so that just an identification. So for all your advertising internal orders will be created under your ADVV order type. Okay, these identification, remember, can be. I'm going to do the planning, so I'll give the planning profile and the release immediately. Okay, and the object class, this is related to overhead. Then click on assign change and interval. Here we will give the number range for individual internal order. Okay, I can use the standard one. If I want to create, I can create my own group. Here if you see, I want to create my own group, insert US01 hello group. From number to number, the existing number, so which is already used, I cannot use it. So I'm going to take the then go to the group which you have created. Most of the time it will be at last. Then find your internal order type. It is in not assigned stage. So it has to be assigned to this group. How to do that? Double click on it. From the black it will convert to blue. Click on element group. Then it is saved. So under the group it is there. Now I will create the individual order. KO01. Type the group, order type, select the category, then this. So this is, let's say, for October advertisement. Okay. Now I can, if I want to specific to cost center, profit center, or WBS element or a sales order, I can update the information. Then in the control data, if it is a real order, then no need to do anything. If it is a statistical, then select your statistical order. Okay, if you select statistical, system consider it as a statistical. If you do not select here anything, then system will select it as a real order. Okay, so I selected statistical. Okay, now order number is created. Now I will do a posting to advertisement cost elements. Okay. Now if you see, it is asking cost center and the internal order also, both. Bank account. So if you want to view your report, one. This is your internal order. Now for the internal order, I can do the planning, okay, and I can do the variance analysis also. Similarly, how we have done it for your controlling. So cost center. Report planning is F6, KP06, KPF6. Okay, internal order, cost element. Let's say for here I can change it for, we want to do it for individual periods. Then the report is S underscore ALR underscore 8701299. Period 7 and 7. So actual is 8,000, plant is 3,000. There's a variance of 40,000. So individual month wise, now whenever I want a report, not only for the marketing cost center wise, based upon my individual particular event or activity, we can record it. As Vanessa was saying, it can be associated to an asset, it can be associated to a sales order, it can be associated to your project system, it can be associated with any other object. Later we can distribute it, or we can just keep it as a statistical for your reporting purpose. Any questions here?
No question.
No, sir.
We'll have a 10-minute break, then we'll look into the profit center accounting. Then tomorrow what we'll do a FIMM integration, month end, year end and reports, then all your doubts and all the topics are.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we will have the session.
Yes, tomorrow we have session and
No,
it will
no,
be
today.
another long.
Today.
Sorry?
Today, now,
Huh?
now.
Yes, another half an hour we'll have. We'll finish up the
Half an hour.
product. Yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
one thing I had.
And tomorrow we'll finish up rest all the topics.
Okay. One question, Kashi. I think in the distribution cycle, they were using statistical key figures.
Correct.
Yeah. How is that, and how do we determine some variable portions?
We have to define a statistical key figure, then we can distribute it using statistical.
Okay. How is it connected? Like connection.
You have to do other configuration actually for that.
Okay. Okay. It just helps me to distribute to the different cost centers or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cost center.
Okay, I think
It
that's
is again statistical key figure is one of the tools which helps you to distribute
okay.
your different entries. Okay, so for your reporting purpose. Okay, so it is more a number providing information about non-monetary data related to organizational unit, like your employee number of machines, capacity. Okay, this can be your additional information at the time of distribution.
Okay.
It can be used as a additional information at the time of distribution.
Okay.
I will have a 10-minute break, then I will look into the profit center account. Okay. At your plant level or product level or for your group of products. Okay, it is always suggested to represent or define your profit center at your product level. If it is your maintained at plant level, there are some disadvantages are there. Okay, but if you use it at product level, it gives you a complete picture and it helps you with a lot many reporting. And profit center accounting is completely a statistical accounting component. This means that it takes the transaction data that posted and represents in the profit center. It is not distributed to other streams. Okay, so profit center accounting is one of the tools which replaces your business area postings. Earlier people used more business area. Why you are not using business area? Profit center accounting is the one of the major reason, because it provides a better report. It can be defined based upon our requirement in different report wise, different area wise, we can define it. Okay. Next, let's see the configurations. Okay. Before the profit center accounting, there is one T code, important T code which we use, that is OKKS. So this is to shift from one controlling to another controlling area. Okay, just type the controlling area and enter. Then it will be shifting to one controlling area to another controlling area. Okay, this is like one of the T code which you use very frequently. Now, the first configuration is your controlling area settings. Zero K, because each step there are some explanation out there. Let's go to the individual T code and explain. Now, how we have defined the cost center hierarchy? We have to define the profit center hierarchy. This is the highest hierarchy for your profit center. So whenever I record a profit center, this is the highest hierarchy. The system is going to do all the configurations. Now, second is your eliminate business internal volume. Now, this is another important configuration. Why we require this configuration? This will eliminate any duplicate entry. If there any duplicate entries are there, this will eliminate. Okay, elimination of internal business volume ensure that the transaction data of same time that are assigned to the profit center is not updated. For example, secondary allocation between cost center C0012 to C02, where both cost centers are assigned to the profit center P001, then it will eliminate this kind of activity. So I'm transferring the data from C00 to C200, but the profit center is the same. So again, when I'm transferring to C200, if I record, it will be a duplicate entry. So to eliminate such kind of data, we have to select eliminate business volume. Profit center local currency type. I'm going to select my controlling area currency, because in the controlling I have selected controlling area currency. If the controlling area, if I selected group currency, then I have to select here group currency. Or if I have a different currencies, that means I have selected their company code currency in your controlling area configuration, then I have to select here profit center currency, because each currency wise I can make the postings. Then my profit center currency, then store transaction currency. Now this again configuration is important. Okay, whether or not the transaction currency is updated when actual or plan is transferred from components of the profit center. Setting this flag increases the data volume, since the total records need to be broken down according to the transaction currency. So this is the disadvantage, but we always select it because we need the report based upon your currencies. Okay, any questions in these 4 configuration steps?
No
Anita?
question. No question.
Okay, then the second configuration is maintain version. Okay, EQ.
Okay, one question. We were using, I don't know where, but we used dummy profit center. So when do we use that?
I'll explain.
Okay.
I'll explain.
Okay.
Then the maintain version. So this is for your actual and plan. plan and actual version. Double click on setting for profit center accounting. New entries. Your current year. Select online transfer. Select line item and the exchange rate value date. Then save. Next is your dummy profit center. Dummy profit center is the default profit center. That is the default profit center which is used for your cost center. Why we require a dummy profit center? As I said, profit center account or profit center must be having all the transactions. But now when I was creating the cost center, remember I did not give the profit center. But that transaction also has to be go to the profit center, because profit center must have all the information, remember always. So dummy profit center will act as a your default profit center. Wherever you do not have any profit center, then it will update to that particular, that is your dummy profit center. So dummy profit center is considered as your default profit center. Okay? Any questions in the dummy profit center?
We should always know which is our profit center, right? When will be the cases when we don't know where we have to post it? What are the real situations?
There will be any lot many situations that doesn't know that this profit center is good.
Okay.
Then it will go to this dummy profit.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll create a dummy profit center, KA5. I'll give you identification. Dummy PC or VS0. Profit center group, the group which you have assigned in the earlier configuration. Then I'll maintain the control parameter for actual posting, 1K EF. So I'll activate it for 2014. This is for your actual postings. That's it. Okay. We have another two important configuration, but for that we require cost center and profit centers. Okay. Now I'll create, let's say, profit centers. Okay. So let's create. Okay. Let's give VS01, VC1. Okay. This identification, remember, I'm taking as an example. We can give any identifications. Okay. Profit center. Person responsible. Profit center. That is your default. Now, profit center has to be activated. If you just select save, system will not allow you to post any entry. So you have to click on activate. Then only it will say created. Now this profit center, I'll take it and assign to a cost center. I'll create a new cost center. 01, let's say P4. So whenever I do the posting to the cost center also, system will record the transaction in your profit center. Now I'll create a cost element. Okay.
Actually, there when you're creating cost centering, there was this functional area. What is functional area? What is that?
Functional area, if you activate your FM model, there's an FM model is there. When you activate it, that time it is required. Functional area.
Okay. That is also for reporting, is it?
Okay.
This FM.
No, this is more for your cost of sales account.
Okay.
Now I'll create few cost elements. Let's say I'll create one expense and one sales. Okay, because I need to record a revenue also. Okay, let's say I'll create one wages. G004, create cost element, cost element category is primary. This is for your expenses, posting the entries for expenses. Now similarly, I'll post an entry for your, create an entry for revenue, the posting for the revenue. Let's say that is your sales. Income, let's say another sales account. Credit sale. Okay. Now field status group for your sale, okay, will be G036, revenue account with profit center. Then go to edit cost element. Cost element category will be 11, revenues. Now I will maintain the documents for the postings, GB02. Okay, click on the groups, select actual document for direct posting with GB01, go to interval and maintain. Type your company code, insert interval 2014 from number to number. Okay, then the very important configuration, account assignment for your cost element. Okay. Okay. Now go to new entries. Your company code, cost element. Now, for each cost element, we have to maintain this. Okay, wages. Okay, then your assignment, whether based upon your business area, profit center, or valuation area. Valuation area is nothing but your plant. So I can have business. If I select business area, then I have to assign the business area to the profit center. That means when I record the profit business area, it will post to the profit center. If I give the profit center, then I can give the profit center directly. The cost. If I give the here business area, then I have to do the configuration detail per business area. If I select the profit center, detail per profit center. Your profit center. The cost. Okay. Even I can restrict to internal orders also. Okay. Now all the postings are done. Now I'll post one revenue, one expense, and I'll generate the report. First your expense. So for wages, I'll post it. The cost center. Who want to view this report, /NKSP1. Your overall transactions. Now similarly, I have one credit sale. Okay, if you want the profit center report also, he invites it. Okay. Okay. Now your sales, that is your income. The second sales account which I have created as a revenue cost element. Now I'll give the profit center here. If I've given business area configuration, okay, the mandatory field is the business area. System will ask the business area, but I have done it for profit center. Now view the report.
I could give even the cost center over here, right? Because the cost center is assigned to the profit center.
If it goes to the profit center, then it will record to your profit center. Cost center means it will go to the cost center, but the revenue will never go to your cost center, always to your profit center.
Okay. But
Okay.
in cost center also you do you have a link to the profit center. when you create a cost center. So if that had been done, and if I would have posted this to the cost center, then that's not correct.
No, we'd never do that.
Uh,
Okay, you're going to say we'll link to a cost center here.
yeah, when we create a cost center, we have the option to give the profit center, isn't it?
We're saying that instead of giving profit center, give a cost center here. Correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So it is showing, first of all, cost center is blocked for your revenue postings. Okay, I'll activate it.
Hmm.
In the configuration, I'll activate. Okay, actual revenue. Okay, then you are cost center.
Automatically comes.
Because the assignment we have done it this way.
Okay, okay, okay.
In OKB9,
Uh-huh. Okay.
have done profit center assignment to the cost.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So system will determine the profit center.
Okay. So this is allowed now. Okay.
Okay. But the revenue posting, okay, will not be updated if I give profit center. If I give cost center, see it is updated. But earlier
Yeah.
transaction, it is not updated. So cost center does not contain your revenue. It always contains your
Posting
overhead.
entire amount.
So
Yeah.
that is incorrect.
Yeah.
So
But
we never do this posting allowed. I did it because to show you, but we never do this.
okay.
Because cost center should have only your, this entry should not come.
Okay. Then why am I
It should
linking
have,
my cost center to the profit center, that account assignment that I did? Okay, B9.
mhm, mhm.
Why did I link cost center to the profit center?
Because when I post the profit center, it will update your cost center,
Oh,
not the vice versa.
okay, okay.
Either you link to a profit center or your business area. As I said, business area is not in use, so use more profit center.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll keep it up to here, and tomorrow we'll do FIMM integration, reports, month-end, year-end activity. Okay, then probably tomorrow we'll have, is it fine, Indian time 2 o'clock? Okay, is it fine with you, Vanessa?
9:30 mine. Yeah, that should be okay.
Okay, if any change this time, just I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Kishore has to confirm, but he
Okay.
said he's fine, but he will confirm it. If it's not there, then we will have it 6 o'clock. So, but we'll try to have this, that is our time, or 2 o'clock. Okay.
Okay.
And first we will look FIMM integration, then the reports, then month end and year end.
Okay.
With that, I think all that course contains whatever we have, that it will be over. Then you